money required to do courses like BSc, BTech. Then power and eyesight. If you have power and eyesight, can you join? How risky life is in Merchant Navy? Can girls join Merchant Navy? Next is if you have less than 60%, can you join Merchant Navy? What's up guys, welcome back to another day at sea. And yeah, I got a haircut done. It's just okay because we're not experts here, so we just did it. You took a trimmer and just gone. So let's do a quick question answer session today. And yeah, I keep conducting these question and answer sessions on my Instagram, so don't forget to check that. Don't forget to press the subscribe button right somewhere over there. Okay, let's start. So internet speed on board, well, to be honest, it's not so fast. Maybe 60-70 kbps, download speed. So Instagram will work, YouTube will not work, so I buy SIM card. Sometimes there are blind patches in the satellite connection, so you won't get internet for maybe 2-3 days. But generally on board Maersk ships, the internet is quite good in my experience. Next is if you have less than 60%, can you join Merchant Navy? Yes, you can join Merchant Navy if you have less than 60%, but not as an officer, as a GP rating or a crew member, which is like an able-bodied seaman or a ordinary seaman. So for that you have to do GP rating course, which I'll make a video about how to do that. And if you have less than 60% PCM, do not join a BSc course or a DNS course, because good companies will not be coming to that college, so you will be totally destroyed. Money required to do courses like BSc, BTech. Well, to be honest, money required, I had to pay 16 lakhs for the entire 3+1, that is 3 years on land and 1 year on ship. So I had to pay for that as well. And it took me 14-16 lakhs, but now it's increased. Now it's become 20-21 lakhs in Tolani. So yeah, it requires money. And DNS costs about 4-5 lakhs or sometimes 6-7 lakhs, because it's just 1 year on land. So rest you be sponsored by the company, so you'll be going there. Next is food on board for vegetarians. For vegetarians, see, it depends. Like I have a Filipino cook who does not know how to make vegetable like Indians make these vegetable sabji and all that. So it will be a problem. You will just be having salads with salt and pepper. So for vegetarian it's a bit challenging. You'll have rice, but you'll have no dal or something. But on Indian ships, and where the crew is Indian, you get good ships. My friends are on Indian ships and they have good experience with food. So do keep that in mind. Let's move on to how risky life is in Merchant Navy. Risks are always there, so safety is paramount over here. So everything is safe. Like we try to keep it safe, but risk, like you get storms and all of that on small ships. Yes, ships do sink, still they do. And one of the ships went aground in Mauritius, so the case, and it broke into 2 halves. Yeah, piracy is also there, especially in West Africa, Gulf of Guinea. And yeah, it happens, the attacks happen. Next, let's move on to how many days I spent at home. So last year I spent about 4 months. So that was good enough for me. But generally I would like to stay more, but you need money to survive, so I come back. Maybe 3-4 months in a year I stay at home, but sometimes it could be 6. But I have to get that 183 days for the NRI thing, so definitely you have to keep that in mind. So minimum 6 months you have to be at sea. Can you bring your family on board? Yes, you can bring your family on board, but that is only for the top 4 ranks now. That is the captain, chief engineer, second engineer, and the chief engineer. If I repeat that, chief officer. Yeah, but previously we had the junior officers could also bring their families, but now it's Maersk has cancelled that policy. Then SIM cards I use on board. I have a Airtel SIM card which goes on roaming, so I have to pay 755 rupees for 1 GB on international roaming, but that is too expensive. So whenever I'm on ports, I buy from the local agent these SIM cards, which are much cheaper and have got more data. So that's how I upload the YouTube videos and Instagram videos at times. Then which type of ship gets longer shore leave? So in my experience and from what I've heard, bulk carriers are good for shore leaves, because they have more time in port, maybe 3-4 days. In container ships, you must have seen 24 hours, 2 ports. You must have seen that video. No chance of going out. You have to rest, you have to sleep, you have to recoup your energy. So going out is a bit tough. And bulk carrier, yeah, still they work with the old conventional cranes, which take time to load and unload, but that is also getting faster, so keep that in mind. But and the worst are the tankers, which are like big tankers like VLCCs. They don't go at all to any ports. In fact, they have this mooring outside the ports, and from there they transfer all the oil and everything. So tankers, bad. It's quite bad for surely. You won't see anything. How to deal with difficult seniors on board, guys? This is really important. If you have a difficult senior on board, first of all, stay calm. No need to respond to all of his bad behavior. Just stay calm. Keep your patience. Do your work. Be safe at all times. Keep yourself mentally sane. If it gets too much, you have to report it to the captain. If the captain is bad, then again you have to report it to the company as per the means in your company, or whatever the procedures are. But do not take too much bullshit from very bad people, because that will play on your mind all the time. There's always bad people everywhere. So you be a good person and report it. Stay calm. Do your work. Most importantly, keep yourself mentally sane. Do your studies and do your work properly. That's it. Next we come to, guys, during urgent situation, if you can sign off, like in an emergency, if you have some emergency in your home. So yes, definitely, and the company tries its best to get to the most recent port. Depend on the severity of the emergency. And if you yourself have an emergency, like a medical emergency, you got injured so bad, then definitely you go to the closest port and sign off, or maybe a helicopter operation, rescue operation. But if you like something happened at your home, I hope it never happens to anybody, but if something happens, then the next port which the ship is reaching, you will be signed off, and subject to a lot of conditions which will be decided by the company and the captain. Even I was concerned in the beginning, suppose something happens to me, what will happen? But then there are a lot of procedures and protocols which are in place, so definitely you will be able to sign off. But in this corona times, it's tough and it's bad, so I hope nothing ever happens. Then which subjects to study before joining a ship as a cadet? So guys, in my opinion, rules of the road are really important for deck side. I don't know about the engine side. And then the life-saving appliances, firefighting appliances, have some basic knowledge about that. Then so that the chief officer, who will be your designated training officer, knows that you will be working safely, and you have some knowledge. So mostly you will learn on board the practical aspects of the job, which is what you are being paid for. But theoretical knowledge is as important as practical knowledge. Then next is harassment of cadets on board. There have been instances where cadets have committed suicide because the seniors were not treating them good. So as it is, I keep telling you, life at sea is tough. Mental pressure is a lot. You are isolated, you are alone. Suppose your first time on a ship, aloof from all the humanity and everything. You just have 24 people who are busy in their own life, and someone is trying to harass you. Definitely I take a stand for that. Don't take any bullshit from anyone. Go through the proper channel and procedures, report it, and then let the company decide. No amount of harassment is accepted on board, and please don't take anything extra. Just be safe and keep working safely. Be sane and report it. That's it, guys. The next is can girls join merchant navy? I have sailed with 3 lady officers and they were all superb. In fact, they worked better than even guys. So lady officers definitely, and the joining procedure is the same as males, so there's no difference. And I've put a video on how to join merchant navy as an officer or an engineer, so do check that out. And girls, it's as it is tough life, and especially if you are the only gender present on board, then it does definitely will take a toll on your mind. But I think girls are more stronger now than guys, for sure, and they can take a stand for themselves. So, and there are strict policies. If anybody tries to harass you, you report it to the company, the person is sacked immediately. And next is tankers to dry fleet changeover. Well guys, most companies don't like to take people who are in dry fleet and they want to switch to tankers, but people who are in tankers can join dry fleet because of some certain experience, because tankers require a lot more experience. You should be familiarized with the equipment before taking over as an officer. So if you want to join as an officer from dry to tanker, then you will be at a lesser rank, so that you gain experience and then you move forward. Can commerce students join Merchant Navy? Yes, they can join Merchant Navy, but not as an officer or an engineer. You'll be joining as a crew member. So like I keep telling you, crew members have 9 months plus contracts and they get paid less. But if you have no options and if you're short of money, EP ratings is the way to go about it. And you can also become a repairman or a motorman. I don't know the exact procedures for that, but yeah, that is one option. Which is better, DNS or BSc? In my opinion, now DNS with sponsorship is a good way to go. I've heard from a lot of students that you're not getting placed from colleges which are doing BSc because their companies are not coming because of the market conditions. So DNS with sponsorship, that means the company has to give you the C time for required cadetship, and so that you can progress in your career further. So I think DNS with sponsorship is a better option now, but it depends. If you do BSc from Tolani, then which I did, it was quite good and companies came like hell and almost everyone got placed, provided you study hard and work hard. Then power and eyesight. If you have power and eyesight, can you join? For deck officers, no, you need to be 6x6 when you start sailing as a deck officer, and for that LASIK operation is accepted. But if you have power, I think it's plus minus 2.5, then you can be a marine engineer, and not an issue with that. Then how difficult is second mates exam? Guys, second mates exam is tough, and I cleared it in 2 attempts. So it's not so easy. I was exempted from writtens because I did BSc, but DNS students have to do the written as well and orals as well. So orals especially are more tough because it's such a vast topic that the surveyor, if he asks something out of the ordinary, then you're confused and you start going on into something else, then he knows that okay, you don't know this topic, so straight fail. So you have to study a lot, you have to be thorough with your knowledge, and like I keep telling you, study hard and work hard. That's the only way to clear the second mates exam. So guys, that was all about the question answer sessions today, and do write your comments so that I know if this was successful or not, then I can make more like this. And yeah, if you did like this, do subscribe to the channel, like the video, and stay safe guys. I'll see you in another video. Thank you.